Welcome to day 4 of Henrico Dito's art class.
Enrico Dito.
Architecture, food, and art.
So, today I'm going to show you a website which is from my iPad about how we can actually draw while we are at home and also feels like we are traveling somewhere. So, just go to your browser and look for Earth Roulette. So, I'm just going to redirect. So, this is the Earth Roulette. So, I want to go to Asia. Then you just press generate it baby, then it will generate. So today we are going to Persepolis, Iran. So here there will be images to show you what is the place look like, and now we can just look for an image that we can use. All right, I think I found one. This is a great image for us to learn because it has lots of shadow and a few of some colors as well. So we are just going to zoom in here, and this is called the ruins of the palace of Artaxerxes or Persepolis. Right. All right. So we are going to talk about this, and let's see and check it out. All right. All right. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay, the first thing first, as always, we're going to write day 4. And today's topic is pencil and watercolor. So, what is the difference between pencil and watercolor and ink and wash? Pencil and watercolor will create an effect where the pencil, you cannot really see the pencil anymore. So it's just like a normal watercolor painting. So the first thing that I want to understand of this image is to understand where are the tones. And here you can see that there is the dark and the light and the dark and the light and the dark and the light. And that is what is very good for us to understand. So like our day 4 a day 3 video, we are going to draw shapes first. Okay. Usually before I paint, I'm going to create a thumbnail where I try to learn about the shape and the composition of the painting that we are going to make. So here again, as per normal, from day 1 we already learned about shapes, and that's what we are going to do again. So the first thing we can draw in the grass. Then we can draw in the building or the ruins, if you want to say that is the ruins. And then the background. Not so much background. Then now we are going to draw the smaller shapes. We can see that this is actually a very simple picture, very good. You can see that I'm drawing shapes. It's just that trapezium, then going to draw in this one as well now. Remember, if you make mistake, it's okay. So I'm going to put some lines to break this up into smaller shapes. Same here, smaller shapes. Then there are like greens on top of this that I forgot to put in. So then there will be like detail lines, the columns basically. Some statues on top. And this is the mountain or hill behind it. So now, learning the tones, we want to understand which one is dark, which one is light. So you can see that the background is darker, then this light is dark and light and dark. So I'm just going to put a light, very light shading at the back. Then a dark shading on this area because it's dark. Same here. Same here. But then with less pressure, because it's a larger space, you don't need so much darkness to it because your eye will be naturally drawn to like large dark contrast spaces like this. Yeah, it's a bit dark there because of the shadows. Here as well. Here as well. Then some diffuse shadows. Same here. Then the background again. It's actually a bit lighter, so that is not right. So I'm just going to erase that area. That's why it is important to understand to have this thumbnail so that we know which one is darker, which one is lighter. So I'm just going to, okay. Just like that. As you can see that the building itself is actually a bit darker compared to the sky. So I'm just going to shade everything very, very lightly. Then the grass have like some kind of like undulation. Shade it in so that you remember that there is this kind of stuff. You most often forget about these things. Then some details at the end there. Then can put some lines. And that is basically it. That is the thumbnail. So if you can see this, that is superb, and if you can copy it, it'll be awesome. So now we can move on to the real business, how we actually draw this in a big picture. So before we paint, very often I'll use this tape to actually create the border, because it'll give you a very clean edge, and that's what we like to have. So I'm just going to, this tape is a tissue tape, so you can actually like take it out from the paper without actually destroying the paper, which is awesome. And just like that. So now we have our paper, and with the tissue tape border, now we can start drawing. Same thing, we are repeating the same process. The first one is the grass. Next one is the building. Don't think, just do, and draw what you see. Because very often when we think, we actually will screw up whatever we have in mind and what we see. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the next, the smaller shapes. Just now I already did one. So this is around here, around there, right in the middle. So I'm just put it there. Oh, sorry. Bad habit. Okay. Around there. Just going to reshape that a bit. And now the smaller shape, even smaller shape with the lines to create the trapezoids to divide it as well. Okay, I just imagine that will happen like that. Then put some grass on top of it, because there are some grass on top of it. Then this is the mountain. Oh, I forgot about this one. Do something like that. Here as well. Right, good. So now we have a similar copy of this. Now we can like block in the shadows area. You can see like the shadow, it seems like the light is coming from that side. So from that side, we can actually like emphasize things as well. Just now it's just a very general study of the colors, general study of the tones, but then now we can actually put more stuff. So you can see like here, there is like some kind of light shadows. Initially, I thought it's a diffuse shadow, then it is actually just a normal shadow. So I'm just going to draw that in so that I remember. It's not right. Then here as well, a bit of there, and put some shadows here just to remember. And that's it. Now we can start coloring it. Right. Hopefully you can see everything, because my screen doesn't really show whether you can see it or not. It's not not sure. Let's try to fix it for a while. Give me a moment. Maybe this is better actually. Honestly, I have no idea. Right. Okay. So with that in, now we can start drawing. Okay. So I'm going to use the same brush as yesterday, as a few days ago. If I can find the brush. Okay, found it. I'm going to use this brush. I'm going to use this brush too. So I'm going to use two different types of brush. One is a mop, the other one is a rectangular, just to give like two different thickness of the lines, shapes, and faster. Okay, right. So now we are going to take some water, put it in as per normal. Okay, this is dirty, just from yesterday. Okay, now it's pretty clean. Just going to wipe this off. Okay, right. So again, like yesterday, like the day 3, we are going to use blue color to create the background first, which is the sky. The sky here is a bit lighter, but then it doesn't really matter. It is really up to you whether you want to make it lighter or darker. But then here it seems it is better for it to be lighter. So I'm just going to put lots of water. This is like the tea layer of it, very light, and I'm not going to layer it further unless I want to put some artistic licensing on this, but then not really sure. We'll see. Just going to draw it quickly. This is the tea layer, very light. Okay, you can see that there are a bit of shadow clouds as well, so I'm just going to like rub it off. Yep, and that is our sky for now. Now we are going to put the foreground. No, actually, let's do the building itself. So the building is brown, greenish brown. Don't know, but then what we know is the sunlight is actually shining from that side. So we are going to put some yellows first. Where the sun hits, put some yellow. So I'm just going to put some yellow there. Actually, the whole thing is going to be a bit yellow. Then, of course, the grass is also a bit yellow, but then lots of water, because this is not the main color of it. Here as well, and that is the yellow color. So it seems like we should do the foreground first, the grass, because it's so much simpler. Let's do that first. So just put some greens. This is sap green and this is hooker's green. Use a mixture of both because it's a bit bluish. So I'm going to put some blues as well. So I'm just going to put it in. This is the first layer, so we'll make use of the honey. The tea layer first. It's okay if like that kind of thing happen. There is like the happy accidents of watercolor, and I like it. Hopefully you like it as well. Let's use this as well for the mountain behind. So here, I'm just going to wipe this off because it's a bit irritating now. Remember there is watercolor, right? You can always wipe it off. It is like eraser, but then of course there will be like spots like that shows that you made a mistake, but then it's a happy mistake, so it's okay. Right, so that is our foreground and our background. Now we got to let it dry for a tiny bit. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Let's just put it in here first as the tea layer. Okay. After this, we are going to move on and try and put some milk and honey layers. But then before everything is going to happen, we are going to to color in the building itself first. With, I think it's going to be a yellow brownish kind of color. Not really sure yet. You can see that this paper is a bit buckling. It's okay. It's not a big problem because paper buckles since it's watercolor, and this is a cheap watercolor and very lightweight. Yeah, whatever I've been showing you is using a very cheap paper, so everyone can actually copy and try it out themselves. Okay, so get to wait for a while. Okay, it seems like the building is already dried, so I'm just going to start with the building again, come back to with the building. So what I realized is, while thinking, it is a bit blue and a bit yellow and a bit of brown, which is basically burnt sienna. So it creates something like that. So I'm just going to put it in. Okay, yeah, I like the color, quite similar. Put lots of water, make it into a tea layer, turn it into a tea, and go over your sunlight layer as well. If it is too much, just wipe it off. This is a bit too much. Wipe it off. Wipe it off. Right. Now I'm going to put some more of the burnt sienna because it seems it wants to be a bit more brown. It's okay if it is not matched perfectly because it is your work anyway, right? Okay, so that is the first layer of the buildings. Now it seems like the grass has been dried as well. Okay, this is not so much dry, but it is fine. Now we are going to move on to the tea layer, the milk layer of the grass. So again, the idea here is about the pigment viscosity. So, and okay, I'm just going to put it a bit darker. So I'm just going to put it now. Pigment viscosity. This is the milk layer, not the not the honey layer. So this is not the most viscous yet. But then here the idea is to create like some depth as we have identified in the beginning. Just going to splatter a bit. Right. Same behind here. It wants to be a bit blue, dark bluish kind of feeling. Then just erase a bit on top. Right. Now we can move on to back to the buildings. Okay, I admit the splatters cause some problems here. You can always erase it since it's very light. Yep, now it's gone. Now we are going to move on back to the buildings, and now I'm going to use a smaller brush, this brush, and we are going to lock in the shadows. All right, so the shadows I will use neutral tint again, and a bit of sepia of the burnt umber or burnt sienna, up to you, whatever you have. And I'm going to put a bit of blues as well, and that is what we got. Just put some water, and now we can lock it in. I'm going to put some shadows on the grass on top of here as well. Yeah. Now let it dry. So now, since everything seems more or less there, quite dry, now we can move on to the honey layer. This is the last layer where we put everything at the very end. So, and again, it is about the viscosity of the pen, so it's got to be much more viscous. So I'm just going to start by doing the grass again. So I'm just going to more viscous. And this is the detail layer where you put more details. It's the grass. There is something behind. I'm just going to draw in here as well using this color. Some details. And okay, I think that's it for the grass. So, okay, maybe not. Tiny bit more. Right, okay. So now we are going to move on to the building again. Clean it good. Okay, until there is more pigment. This one. Now, again, this is now the time for honey layer. And I feel that it's calling for some reds. So I'm just going to put some reds. And this honey layer will going to be on top of everything to create the texture of the building itself. So I'm just like drawing the bricks in actually. Very much like drawing the bricks in. Going to put some tea layer on this so that we put some texture as well. Tea layer is the lightest, so it's really very faint, just to give like some kind of texture, hints of texture. Let the human mind to fill up the spaces in between. Then since as you can see, like the contrast is not there yet, so I'm just going to put more darker tone of darker spaces. Just going to put it in. Really so much darker than the previous one. Shadow layer. Going to wipe some of the pigments out because it's not really working well here. Just going to put it. Now, since it is very close to being done, now we are going to put more texture using lines. So we are going to use honey layer again because the honey viscosity, because it will pop out. So I just created a bit of more honey. So I'm just going to put it in. I'm going to put it in everywhere. Some darks, blacks also here. I'm just going to block it out with this as well. Then now, I'm going to put details on everywhere. So we are going to put details on this. Here there's one pole there. Do not know what is it, but then there's something there here as well. Just going to put some depth to the mountain as well. At the same time. Reduce. And seems like it. I think we are pretty much done. Yeah. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully it is not as blurry as I thought it will be. Hopefully I finger cross maximum maximum finger cross. Yeah. So hope you understand and learn something from today's session using pencil to block in the shadows and tones. Then after that, just put some colors, tones, just very similar with the method that we use when we are using ink. So I'm just going to put some birds for fun. Birds. And that's it. That is for today's session. Thank you so much for listening, and hope you learned something new. And see you for day 5 of Henrique Dito's art lessons, and that'll be the end of these sessions. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye. Oops. Not supposed to do that. Do it perpendicularly. Oops. Oh, the paper is bad. Okay. That's it for today. Have a nice day.
Enrico Dito.
Bye-bye.
Architecture, food and art.